call the meeting to order. At this point in time, I'm going to ask Pastor Mark Molina to come up to lead us in the invocation.
Thank you. Let us pray. Blessed Father, in the name of Lord Jesus, we come here tonight. We thank you for the privilege of living in America, the gift of our freedoms. We thank you that we can still come together under the banner of our flag and pray. Tonight, our government is at work. Our elected officials are here to execute their duties and responsibilities. In this room, there may be friend or foe, there may be adversary or advocate, but we thank you for the privilege of being Americans and being a free nation. We ask for a banner of peace over our city, a banner of provision over our city for our families, for our children, for our future. We ask you to guide our leaders at all levels, law enforcement, first responders. Give them your wisdom, your courage, and your strength for not only the challenges of today, but for the challenges of tomorrow. Let us remember, O God, that we all live here, and to do our part. We ask you for the safety of our city. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We want to welcome everybody to our meeting tonight. Thank you for coming out. And Mayor Boswell is out this evening, so we're going to conduct business and go forward here. We're going to move on to item number one, public announcement of events.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Temp, Mr. Castillo, Commissioners, and Mr. Yelena. I'm here to announce our upcoming events. All our events are going to be this week, starting on Thursday for the Arroyo Lighting. We're celebrating our 27th annual, in which our lineup is looking good, in which we have 15 performers from elementary to high school. We also have the Christmas Parade presented by the RGVJCs on Friday, December the 6th at the downtown Jackson Street at 7 o'clock. Saturday, December the 7th, we have the Phone Dash 5K presented by Mid-Valley Events at the Arroyo Park, McKelvey Park area. And also December the 8th, Friends of the Harlingen Public Library, they're having a Christmas stockings, authors from the Valley. They'll be reading to the community, and everybody is welcome to attend at the library auditorium from 3 to 4:30. Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 2, Neighborhood Clean Sweep held November 9th, 2013. It was in the area of King Street and LaSalle Street between Rangeville Road and California Street, District 5. City Manager?
Yes, sir. This clean sweep happened on November the 9th. In the area of King, Knox, Lem, and LaSalle Street, District 5, which is Commissioner of the Alps District. And we'll show you some of the pictures, some of the stuff that they carried out from the area. You see some of the volunteers. They picked up approximately 3.6 tons of debris from the area, a lot of mattresses. And astonishing 159 tires were also picked up. So that's quite a bit.
It's a new record.
Yes, sir. New record for an area. So you see some of the other stuff that was picked up from different locations in the area. We had assistance from the Tamayo Home for Boys. So it was really a great pickup. We set a record for tires, and it was a successful event for the area. And we want to thank code enforcement and all the volunteers that participated in the event.
Excellent. Move on to item number 3, approval of minutes. 3A, November 20th, 2013, regular meeting. Is there any corrections, deletions? Not, do I hear a motion to approve minutes?
So moved. Second.
There's first and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All approved, same sign. Go to item, the consent agenda 4A, B, C, D, E, and F. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda for A, B, C, D, E, F as presented.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Moving on to item number 5, public hearing and presentation regarding the draft fiscal year 12-13 consolidated annual performance and evaluation report. Tammy?
Good evening. As a condition to continue to receive CDBG and home funds, we have to have a public hearing to report on the accomplishments that we've done in the past year. I always put up our mission and our vision because our staff continues to go above and beyond, especially the outreach to the community with the elderly and the disabled. As you can see from the funding that we've received in 2001 to 2013, we've lost over $500,000 in the CDBG and the home funding. So I just provide this so you can have an overview of where we used to be and where we are now. At the end of last year, we had an unexpended balance and we got our entitlement grant. The housing rehab program income was $58,632.17 that we received in the year. So in CDBG funds to expend as of October 1st, 2012, it was $1,946,60.33, of which we spent just almost $1.3 million. So as of October 1st, 2013, we had an unexpended CDBG balance of $657 to $1182, excuse me. As far as the expenditures, I did the chart and also the graph so you could see where during this reporting period where expenditures were. The housing rehab reconstruction program is where most of the money were expended, and we have about a 3-year waiting list on that. We don't have enough funding to meet all the needs in that area. This expenditure, our total expenditures for the year were $1.6 million because we did have home expenditures also. We have finally finished our Northwest Area Drainage Project. Our first expenditure was in 2004. And with the help of the disaster recovery funds, we were able to extend the project. And in total, we've spent $3.4 million out of grant funds, total grant funds for this project. It also benefits 2,985 low-income persons within that area. The Buchanan Hayes and M Street drainage is underway. It's also partially funded with the disaster recovery program in addition to the CDBG program. It will benefit 7,331 persons when it's completed. And as you can see, we've completed phase 1, 2, 3, 5, and we're under construction under phase 4 right now. The Target Area Neighborhood Investment Program is an approach so that we target an area at a time. For any additional funding that we have, we'll go as a concentration into that area. And it is in Census Tract 110. During this year, in Census Tract 110, we've completed the sidewalks that are ADA accessible along Lincoln from H to M streets. We also provided funding for the pavilion at the Rangerville Road Park. It was $108,157 for the construction of the pavilion. As I said, the majority of our funding went to the housing rehab program, and pictures are worth 1,000 words, and you can see some of the deficiencies in the home, especially around on the foundation. But a lot of them, what you can't see, are the electrical hazards that are really, really scary in addition to the plumbing. This home, if you look at the upper left picture, or upper right picture, it was almost sitting on the ground, and then after the contractor went, he was able to elevate it. And these are inside pictures, just showing you the before and after. To show you, this was an elderly lady, and as you can see in the bathroom on the upper right corner, she wouldn't be able to use the facilities in a wheelchair, so we made sure we reconfigured the bathroom so that it's now handicap accessible. Just other pictures. This was another one. We had to restructure the roof because it had a ramp that we had to come into the front of the home with. And so if you can look at the before and after, an astronomical difference in addition to all the flooring rotting and falling when you stepped on it. This year we were able to help 9 home owners. 11 are currently underway, which we haven't paid the final retainage on. We did 2 of the homes received lead-based paint services because they were in line for rehab and then they dropped out. So the only benefit that they did get was the rehab paint. Of the 9, 8 were elderly, 6 were female head of households, and all 9 of them that we served this reporting period had a disabled family member within the home. We also provide funding to the Boys and Girls Club, as you know, and with our funding they were able to provide services to 860 youth. CASA, which is a court-appointed special advocates, they were able to serve 100 children, they're abused children, that they have the advocates that volunteered to serve the children. Sunshine Haven was the first time that we funded them, and with funding they were able to provide services to 28 residences. Even though it's not in Harlingen, those are Harlingen residents, and this is just a picture of what the facilities look like. And Maggie's House, we funded them $1,663.23, and they served 9 abused children. Girl Scouts, 450 young girls received assistance because of the funding that we provided. And then the Senior Companion Program were for 40 elderly residents, and that doesn't include the person that actually helps them, because the elderly person that goes and works in the program is also elderly. So we expended $116,741.25 for the public services, but for what we put in, there was match of over $2 million. The Clearance and Demolition Program, we only spent out of our funds this year $11.50, and it was for the certified mail. But we did work in partnership with them last year when the National Guard came in, and we're going to do that again this year. And we hope to see more houses go down in the future. This is a home that were constructed by our affordable housing provider, Harlingen Community Development Corporation, and I've given you the information that the federal dollars that went into it were $43,515. They went out and got a loan for $75,000 from a local lender, and then they came in with the $3,283, and we have provided a $19,900 soft second. So as long as they remain in the home and for the deferred period, then it will be forgiven, and they won't have to pay that, and that's what makes it affordable to them. And this is also a picture of another one that we constructed. We also have a down payment assistance program that they will go out to homes that are in the city of Harlingen that are available, and we will provide them with down payment assistance as long as it meets all the program guidelines that we have. And they also have to, there is an affordability period that has to be met on each of these. So I've provided a couple pictures so you can see. On the home funds, this is primarily for the construction of affordable housing. This is what was expended this year. The Cameron County Juvenile Justice, we only expended $121.60. However, if you've driven by with the old PD, you'll see that house that's there. Harlingen Community Development Corporation, who has partnered with us in the Cameron County Juvenile Justice, they are now taking that over. The foundation, the rebar's in today. They should pour the foundation, and it should be moved off of that property after the foundation cures. And then HCDC will go ahead and finish out and identify a low-income homeowner to purchase the home. And it'll also be in our target area of Census Tract 110. On the project funds available for the new year, I've given a detail of exactly what's available. You can see the percentage of funds. The majority of the funds are with the Home Affordable Housing Program, but that is starting to pick up. We were having problems with the local lenders, and actually the credit scores of the people that we are supposed to target our programs for, they don't have those higher credit scores, so we'll be working with them. Additional funding sources, we are, with the grace of God, we will finish the NSP grant program with the state of Texas, which we purchase foreclosed homes, rehab them, and then also put low-income persons in them. And we only have about $30,000 left of the disaster recovery program funds for the drainage project. I've given a total of where all of the money went by category. And I'd also like to recognize that this is a public hearing, so there's no approval that's needed, but we would like to hear comments if you have any. And I have several of the board members that came out on this Wednesday. You want to stand, please?
Hey, I have a question. You said this year. Are we talking calendar year or fiscal year?
We go from October 1st to September 30th also.
You showed a unused balance. Does that roll forward to the next year?
Yes.
So that's what that, if you go back 2 slides, there was a 629 or 529.
657.
You had a lot of colors that it's hard to
Yes,
distinguish.
if we
the
go back
numbers.
here,
One more slide. Right there. No?
no,
That
yeah,
one.
right.
So
So-
that line at the bottom where it says,
1.4? Million?
no, the purple next, almost that one.
Expended balance.
Is that what that is?
That, okay.
That's the carryover?
The CDBG, the carryover is 657,
Gotcha.
211, and it's in all of those items.
Gotcha.
And then the other balances are 829 is all in the home program.
Okay. We don't have to worry about losing that funding?
No, if we have an expenditure ratio that we have to meet by July 30th every year, but we will meet our expenditure ratio.
Right.
Any questions?
I think it's
Thanks,
fantastic.
Tom. I'll open the public hearing if there's any other comments from the audience on this report.
Mayor Pro Tem, if I can, I would like to ask Tammy a couple of questions because she's the one preparing this report, which is the unexpended balance. At one point I think I saw it here on the slide at 829,000, and then I saw 675,000. That fund is already going to be used up. It's got projects for it, correct? Okay. All right, that's basically what I have. I want to congratulate you for the job that you've done, because I know you've been at it for years, and you've done a lot of good improvements. I'm really pleased also with your work on the affordable homes projects, because it's one of the few ways that we can, that people can go out and find ways. The only thing I would want is that hopefully we would advertise, the affordable home program a little bit more, Thank you. For the record, Jose Rubio Jr., 2309 Hacienda Road, Harlingen, Texas.
Thank you. Any other comments?
Yolanda shop at Post Office Box 697, and like Rubio said, a lot of people don't know, because it's not advertised as much, that there is money, Not a lot, but there is money that they can help them with. For example, the down payment for a home, or they think that their house has to be demolished because it cannot be fixed, and some houses can be fixed. It's very hard for somebody who has lived there for a long time, and all of a sudden they're told that they're going to have to tear it down because it's no good, and because they feel that they have to, And if you advertise more about the properties that they have, in English and Spanish, because that's who lives in this area, 75%, no, 95% is Hispanic, and they do need help. If it's advertised a little bit more, you will get more people that can use the funds. Thank you.
Any other comments? Declare the hearing closed. Thank you very much, Tammy, for all your work, and staff for everything you guys have done. Move over to item number 6. Consider and take action to accept or reject bids to award contract for construction of a new landfill scale house under bid number 2014-02.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, Commissioners. We received 5 bids to replace the landfill scale house and replace one of the truck scales. Staff is recommending that we accept the low bid submitted by Valley American Contractors in the amount of $210,950. It is under budget, and staff is recommending approval.
Dan, how much is the scale cost itself?
It's just over 100. The contractors here, I didn't bring the breakdown, but I believe it's well over $100,000.
Is that included in this bid?
Yes, sir. It's all inclusive.
Okay, and that was a standard item that we spec'd.
Yes, sir, and we had to match our existing scale system so that they all tie together.
What is the lifespan of a scale system?
The scale that we're replacing, I believe, is probably well over 20 years old, and it's causing us a lot of problems. And this is not going to be an easy project because we're going to have to make a lot of modifications to continue operating while this new scale house is under construction. But we felt we needed to do it because we're having a lot of trouble with our scale on proper weights and accurate weights, which we have to track by TCQ standards. So.
Our large trucks that go up the valley, you weigh those before they leave?
In and out. Yes, sir. We have three.
They weigh them up there too?
They do. We have 3 scales, one at the transfer station and 2 at the scale house. We have an in and out at the scale house. And when those scales aren't working properly, it creates a lot of problems.
Any other questions? Your motion?
So moved.
The motion is to approve
Yes.
staff's recommendation?
Yeah. To award the contract to Valley American Contractors for the low bid in the amount of $210,950 to replace the scale at the landfill.
And there was a second. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign.
Thank you.
Going on to item number 8, consider and take action to enter into an agreement between the City of Harlingen and the Development Corporation of Harlingen, the EDC, to provide,
That's 8.
oh, did I skip one?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry.
7.
Rookie mistake, I'm sorry. Okay, item number 7, consider and take action to waive the January 1st, 2014 City Commission regularly scheduled meeting due to the New Year's holiday.
Mayor Pro Tem Commission, we just wanted to put this on the agenda to advise the commission that this particular meeting falls on New Year's Day. In the past, the commission has, depending on the agenda and the activities that we have, done away with that particular meeting. So we wanted to place this for your consideration.
And this is something we have done in the past where we just waived that one first meeting?
Yes, sir, depending on the day it falls on.
I don't think anybody would argue this.
If we needed something, we can always call a special meeting
Yes.
for pressing matters.
We do have one more meeting before the holiday, December the 18th.
Then I'll make a motion that we adopt or that we cancel a meeting for January the 1st, 2014.
A second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Now we move on to item number 8. Consider and take action to enter into an agreement between the City of Harlingen and the EDC, the Development Corporation of Harlingen, to provide the City of Harlingen the funding for the Legislative Consulting Services Agreement. City Manager?
Yes, sir, Mayor Pro Tem and Commission. This agreement basically it's a two-pronged approach. One, it would be an agreement between the city and the EDC, which is this particular agenda item. The upcoming agenda item, which is agenda item number 9, is the actual agreement with Mike Millsap. This agreement calls for the EDC to provide the funding for Michael Millsap to act as a consultant with respect to various activities related to legislative and administrative affairs. I just want to make a mention that we are calling for a 2-year agreement. I think that the wording calls for a 1 year. But the agreement that we have in place and that we have provided to the commission basically mirrors the previous agreements. And that's to follow the legislative cycle, which is a 2-year cycle. And we would ask that the commission consider the approval of this agreement with the EDC, and it's a 2-year agreement for an amount not to exceed $10,000 a month.
So item number 8 is just to approve the agreement between the EDC and the City of Harlingen.
Correct.
And then the next item is to approve the 2-year agreement.
It's where it rates $240,000, that's actually for 2 years.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's for an amount, yes.
Okay.
Any other questions?
And this is the same amount we've been paying them up to?
Yes, sir, this is the same
There's
amount.
no change?
No changes.
Just all we're changing is extending it for another
Extending
2
for
years?
2 more years.
And this is within the state of Texas, not federal.
Correct. State.
State.
Yes.
Do I hear a motion?
I'd make a motion that we approve the agreement between the City of Harlingen and the Development Corporation to hire Michael Millsap for a 2-year contract period beginning January the 1st, 2014 and ending December 31st, 2015.
So motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Item number 9, consider take action to enter into, and it states here 1 year, but we're saying a 2-year agreement between the City of Harlingen and Michael D. Millsap for legislative services.
I make a motion that we go ahead and approve that agreement as stated.
Which would be a 2-year.
2-year contract between the City of Harlingen and Michael Millsap for legislative services.
There's a motion, is there a second? Second. Motion and a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Moving on to item number 10, consider take action to approve a request from Douglas S. Smith for a certificate of public necessity and convenience to operate a taxi cab business under the proposed name of All American Cab Company in the City of Harlingen as per the City of Harlingen taxi cab ordinance. City Secretary?
Mayor, Commissioners, Mr. Douglas Smith is requesting a certificate of convenience to operate a taxi cab business. Mr. Smith was a driver with First Southwest Taxi Cab, and he's now decided to go on his own. So really, this does not change the amount of taxi cabs that are on the street. However, it does add another company from 5 to 6 companies. All the paperwork that is required by city ordinance to be submitted to the police department was submitted to the police department, and they are recommending approval to grant a permit to Mr. Smith.
I think those packets were handed out as far as the background.
Yes,
The
the background
recommendation by
checks and
staff.
all of that, so yes, sir.
How many cars are you gonna have?
Pardon me?
One car or?
He's only applying for a permit for 1 car.
Now, if we approve this, does that reduce the number of cars the other cab company can have, or does that allow them to go out and replace that car?
Well, it will, in a sense that First Southwest, when he was granted a permit to operate a taxi cab business, he requested a permit for 2 cars.
Right.
However, Mr. Morales, which is the owner of First Southwest, is only operating right now with 1 cab. I don't know whether he'll be coming back later on to put a second car on the street.
And does that jeopardize his agreement? I mean, we approved him for 2, and he said he would be maintaining 2. Does that jeopardize his contract?
No, sir.
Not in my
No.
opinion.
Not in your opinion?
He has a certificate. Under that certificate, he has the right to operate 2 cabs. So he can add another cab that was previously given to him at any time he chooses to do so.
But that agreement's already in place.
That agreement's already in
Separate
place.
I just don't want to do something and then put him in a bad position because we
Well-
approved this.
He's in a good position if he has the option to continue with 1, or he can add another one. The situation here was this gentleman that's here was operating a cab as a source of income, and he did not, it was not properly in compliance with the ordinance. So we in the police department met with him. That's why he's here tonight, to properly to ask for a certificate. And it doesn't increase any, as the city secretary said, it doesn't increase the number of cabs on the street, but it gets him into compliance with our ordinance.
And we have a minimum insurance requirement that they're required to carry.
Yes, sir.
Right.
That's regulated by the state.
I read his docket. I know in the past we've had these come up, and there's always been, are we going to dilute it? And so I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page before we add another cab company and then find out somebody's be complaining because now there's not enough business.
Yeah, well, that could be an issue. We can't really go back with the other gentleman because he has the right to. The problem here was that we discovered that the owner of the other company is supposed to own the taxi cabs, and he did, under our ordinance, and he did not own the cab. So, and yet this is the sole means of support for Mr. Smith. So he had to come in, and everybody, including the city secretary and the police, worked with him so that he can continue to make a living with his taxi
And
cab.
I don't want to hold anybody back.
Right.
We want business to proceed. I just don't want to.
But-
I don't want to put anybody in the wrong.
But there is a potential that I believe the other company, Mr. Morales, could add another cab. That is the potential.
And we need the taxi.
Yes, we do.
Any other questions?
Making a motion to approve that taxi. The city of Harlingen.
And I'll second that.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Then item number 11, board appointments.
I don't have
Board appointments. Next item is a closed executive session. Is there any citizen communication?
Is Yolanda shopping? I'm going to go ahead and pass for the next meeting.
And then
But I
Joy will be able to speak on.
Again, for the record, Jose Ruby Jr., 2309 Hacienda Road, Harlingen, Texas. I want to talk tonight about something that's really endearing to my heart, which is Rangeville Park. Mr. Leal, I would like for you to take a drive out there when it's wet. And I believe that, you talk to Dan, and this will be my second request on the same issue. I believe that if you talk to Dan Sedna, who's the expert at bringing in dirt, right, Dan? That we could put a mound of dirt in that play area and refill it with those chips and fix the problem out there. I'm not an expert at that, but I would hope that would take care of it because, we had 2 or 3 days of good weather, but we had a bunch of standing water. And, I could bring you pictures, but, I'm just telling you what happens out there. And I'm concerned about the kids and being able to have, and it's becoming a real popular park for kids to be there, etc. So I would hope that the original Grinch of Christmas would help me with this problem in the near future. Next item is tonight we're going to discuss the chief of police. You're all going to go into executive session. I believe the chief, I want to commend him for doing a good job. I look here at the audit report where he has decreased the PD budget by $750,000, almost $750,000. And I believe he's done a lot of that just to the natural, looking at the OT, the expenditures of the OT. I haven't always agreed with his philosophy of management, but it's not my job. He is a chief of police. And I want him to understand that from my perspective, from a lot of citizens, that if he leaves tonight, he decides to leave, that he was a good police chief. I'm hoping to be invited to his going away party. Thank you.
Okay, next item is closed executive session. There are no action items after that. So we're going to just go ahead and read the item. Item number 12, closed executive session pursuant to section 551-074 of the Texas Open Meetings Act pertaining to personnel matters regarding the duties and responsibilities of the chief of police.
I'll make a motion that we go into executive session to discuss item number 12.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. We'll go to